Well, howdy folks, this is Clyde again, coming out of the wild side for just a little while. As always, high on life and stoned to the bone. If you're watching this video, the first thing I want to tell you is how much I appreciate you taking an interest in what I do on my YouTube channel, Wild Side Clyde. Hopefully at the end of this video you'll like it, and if you do, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and give it a thumbs up. Take some advice from Clyde. And you're ever traveling in southern Middle Tennessee on I-65, you can give yourself a real treat if you get off exit 27 and go over to a little place called Lynnville, Tennessee. You won't be disappointed. Now let me just say right here that you can't mess up either way you turn, because Cornersville is a nice place to visit as well. However, we're talking about going to Lynnville. So these are just some of the things you'll see on your way to Lynnville if you turn off the interstate on Highway 129. It doesn't matter how you come into this little town. When you get here, you're going to be glad you're here. From all the neat little places, and there's more than one of them, you can tell this town's got a little age on it, but it's a nice place to visit. Now Lynnville's not a really big place, and you can park your car and probably walk to everything you want to see. It has a charm to it like not many little towns have. You can walk down the street, down the sidewalk against this whole row of building, and if you get out a little bit, you're going to see a lot of smiling faces in these places. Now this old gentleman here is named Buck. Weather permitting, every time you go to Lynnville, you'll see Buck sitting out on this bench here. And every once in a while, Buck has a friend that'll come and sit with him. I bet these two are waiting for the train. It runs through here every day. In Lynnville, Tennessee, you'll sense a spirit in the people and a loyalty to the town and to each other. This little place is as Americana gets. It's a place where people are deep-rooted in their commitments, bound by their faith, and have a remembrance for those that ever were a part of it. If you want to ride west just a little ways, you can see the original settlement of Lynnville. This is just some of the scenic views you'll see on the way out of town. Now, what some of the locals at one time called Old Lynnville was here on US Highway 31. And they tell me that during the war between the states, the Union Army burned a lot of that settlement. After the new settlement sprung up, a lot of people still call this Old Lynnville until a fella moved up here from Texas and got them to start calling this Waco. Now there were already people living close to where that railroad was going to come through. And of course, upon knowing that, a lot of the business people moved over the hill to what's now current Lynnville. These locals I've been talking to tell me that the railroad built 3 houses at the end of this little row of buildings down here. Across the street, and what would be the stopover station. And they put people in those houses to mind the cattle pens for the beef that would be shipped out of here. Across the street from this little strip of buildings right here, where you see this white picket fence, is a small train museum dedicated to when the Lynnville Railroad came through. The people here tell me that there was never a hotel anyone could stay in here. They just put this little spot up for fun. Now there are two well-known farms around here. One of them's Colonel Littleton's Foxfire Farms, and you might have seen his place in that little row of buildings. Some of the finest leather goods your money can buy. And I kind of like his philosophy on life. Now the other farm is just a little south of that original settlement I told you about earlier. It's called Milky Way Farms. Franklin Mars decided to open a southern office in Nashville, Tennessee, and he and his second wife came down to Giles County and bought over 2,800 acres of land and started Milky Way Farms. Yes, it's named after that candy bar. Now they set up breeding Hereford cattle, and they had prize-winning cattle, and they also bred thoroughbred horses. Franklin unfortunately died in 1934, 4 years after they bought the property, but his wife kept the operation going, and in 1940 had a Kentucky Derby winner, Galadian. Speaking of good things to eat, there's a couple of places you'll definitely want to visit. One of them's the Lynnville Pie Company here, and it don't matter, just buy something, you'll like it. The other one is the Soda Pop Junction, home of Big Johnny's Burger. Now I have eaten here more than one time, and you should eat while you're in Lynnville at Big Johnny's Burgers. You don't have to eat the burger, there's plenty of other good stuff to eat, but do come hungry. One last unique thing about this little town. This property right here was the site where one of two regiments formed out of Lynnville, Tennessee during the war between the states. These locals tell me that if you're the deed holder to this property, you understand it's all right if needed. A regiment can form in this front yard again out of Lynnville, Tennessee. Thank you again for watching this video. If you liked it, hit the subscribe box, and go ahead and hit the bell and hit the thumbs up saying that you like it. Until I see you again, this is Wild Side Clyde going back to the wild side.